What's up, everybody? Nightwolf, and welcome to the Mechs theround podcast on episode 4. And if you're looking at the layout, you can see that our Transformer friend is not here. It is sad. Magnus was unavailable. Unfortunately, things happened. So, instead, we have Sinanju. Say hello.
Hello.
And, of course, we also have our usual noob, Megazord. Hello.
The usual noob. Come on.
Have you gained any knowledge since the last two podcasts?
In regards to what has been spoken of, yes.
Good. Then maybe we will move your rank up to, like, maybe one notch. We'll move you to, like, not noob.
I get plus 10.
You get plus 10. Get plus 10
I still
and
need
not...
like 3,000 XP in order to level up.
Exactly.
Kind of the issue.
Exactly. Okay, so, with Sinanju on the podcast, why don't you tell everybody, I don't know, your history on Gundam and whatnot, or what you like to do?
Well, let's see. I know a lot of people when they first got into Gundam,
Yeah.
way back when in the Toonami age and whatnot.
Yeah.
A lot of people will say like, "Oh, their first exposure was Gundam." Wait, well, mine was actually G Gundam. I came a little bit later, because obviously for some reason they aired Wing first. I think just because of dubbing or just whenever they were able to get the license, whatever the case. Anyway, it was easy for me to get into G because it was so similar to like Dragon Ball Z, and of course it being like Super Robot and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I really like. Oh, excuse me, I got a Swedish fish in my mouth.
That sounds like a euphemism.
Well, maybe it is, but oh man, they're good.
Psychedelic.
Anyway, so watched G. Loved it as a kid. I bought those old 1144 Noga raids.
Yeah.
And I think the only ones I was missing were Maxter Gundam or Gundam Maxter, and Devil Gundam. And I actually own Devil Gundam now because I guess I found it on eBay for really cheap. But anyway, I'm digressing.
Yeah.
So then started watching Wing. And I love the mech designs. I just couldn't follow the story.
Yeah,
I was just like, oh man, it's really too political. Like it really was too political for my young mind.
Yeah.
And then after a long time, I got out of Gundam, and I didn't get back into it until last year when I went to my friend's house and he bought me a 1144 high grade Death Sight Hell for Christmas. He's like, hey, remember we used to watch Gundam as a kid? I was like, yeah. He's like, didn't you say this is your favorite one? I was like, dude, no way. So I spent the night building it, and it just brought back all these good memories. I'm like, dude, I can get back into this franchise. Like, what have I been missing? He's like, yo, you have missed out on a lot. And over the past year, I just completely got back into watching everything, got back into the hobby of building the model kits, and really started appreciating how, especially with UC Gundam, how political it is. And that is what really drew me into being, wow, this is a really like complicated and immense series that I absolutely adore. And
yeah,
I'm really happy I can share my knowledge here on the show.
Hey, no problem.
That's awesome.
Yep. Yeah, we talked about kind of that in the first, or not first podcast, but second podcast. We talked about our first entry into Gundam, and for both myself and Megazord was pretty much for like most fans of Gundam here in the West, it's Wing. And then you move on to things like G Gundam, which I already have mentioned I'm not the biggest fan of, but I don't knock anybody who likes it. I know that there's a lot of fans out there that enjoy it.
Yeah, that's fine.
It just wasn't my particular cup of tea. It's like, I already had Dragon Ball Z at that point. It's like, why do I need another show that, does the same thing?
I have the same people who come to me, they're like, why don't you like Gundam 00? I just tell them, like, I just don't like 00 or Seed's art style. It's just personal preference.
Yeah.
And, but a lot of people don't understand that. But, I'm just like, whatever, man. It's so diverse. Everyone's got to have some, I'd actually be amazed if I met someone who liked everything that's ever come out in Gundam-wise.
Not easy to do.
That would be rare.
I think that would probably be nearly impossible. Except for if you met people in Japan who'd been watching it since the beginning. Or something. Yeah. Maybe. Because in Japan, they love all their Gundam stuff, probably except for G-Savior, and that's probably about the only one that they don't talk about.
Oh, yeah, I don't think anyone likes to talk about G-Savior that much.
No, I don't think any of them do. They avoid that topic like a plague. They'd rather it not exist. I think Bandai would... It's kind of like George Lucas and the Star Wars Holiday Special. They'd rather pretend it never happened. Well, he did say that he would like to find all the copies of it that have ever existed and burn them. At least I think he said that. Don't quote me on it, but at least that's what I remember him saying at one point. Or someone said that. I don't know. So, okay. So now everybody's gotten somewhat acquainted with Sinanju. Anything interesting happening, Megazord, that you would like to add?
Anything interesting happening? Well, it was very interesting when I logged on and I saw that you got Zeta Gundam on DVD.
Yes.
Yes.
I did.
And being the sharing, caring person that you are.
Yeah. Were you going to ask me something?
I'm assuming at some point I'll be able to watch that.
Yes. That is the plan.
Awesome.
Hey, I told you. I got a collection, dude. I'm more than happy to share it. So long as you don't destroy it.
Yeah, I won't destroy it.
Now, this Zeta Gundam you got, is it the original series or is it a new translation?
I don't think it's a new translation. Well, I'm not going to count my chickens before they hatch because eBay has screwed me over at least once before on a Gundam DVD that I bought. But normally I'm bad. Oh, let's see. I'm like 4 out of 5, so I'm not too bad when it comes to buying them online.
That's not too bad.
No, when it came to buying them on eBay, because it's the cheapest place to find them. And it's the old Anime Legend collection.
Okay.
That Bandai made or released themselves.
Okay. So,
or the old Bandai.
That would be the original series.
Yeah, the old defunct, what was it? Bandai Entertainment? I believe.
I think so.
Yeah.
But doesn't like a new translation pretty much, spoiler alert, it changes the ending of the original show. I'm not going to go into what that is, but they do change it. But essentially, it makes double Zeta Gundam not even happen. This might be explaining why it's not really covered too much.
Huh. I had no idea. Well, I know that, what was it? Gundam Info a while back was showing Zeta Gundam, but I didn't know if it was just like the straight original version that they released years ago, back in the day, just like maybe slightly remastered with cleaned up. But aside from that, I didn't think it was anything new. The only ones I remember that were fixing the problems was the HD versions of Seed and Destiny.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know with a new translation, they were just, they wanted to do kind of what they did with the original movie trilogy. It's like, hey, compress the whole show into 3 movies, fix it up a little bit, make the animation look a little bit better.
Yeah,
clean the trilogy, they removed like the Gundam hammer as a weapon because I guess they went back and thought, no, that's not realistic. It's like, oh, okay, when did this? Excuse me. When did this not become realistic? But I guess with Zeta's new translation, they sort of just changed the ending because they just said like, yeah, the original ending was too depressing. It's just like, well, now that you've changed the ending, you've pretty much written double Zeta out of the continuity entirely.
Yeah.
So
was that for like the movies for Zeta Gundam that came out, or?
Yeah, the ones that never got English dub or anything. Yeah, those.
I originally had like the movie set for like Gundam Seed, and those are always terrible, cut up, and you're missing a lot of some of the more important stuff that's going on. So I normally don't watch the movie versions of the shows unless it's, well, at this point, Gundam the Origin. Unless it's that, which is something, it's kind of its own entity at this point.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's kind of unto itself. It was designed to be that way.
Yeah, it's brand
So that's
new.
different. Yeah.
Yeah, it was meant to be a separate entity. Blah, 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 blah. I can't talk. I can't English today. Apparently. Or I can't English right now. Okay. But yeah. Which actually reminds me, I guess we could segue into it. I actually did watch Gundam The Origin Sunday. I actually rented it on Amazon Instant Video.
Oh. How much is it per episode on there?
It's one. Well, considering it's a movie, it's one episode at this point.
Oh, it's a movie.
Yeah, they're short movies. They're like over an hour. I think they're like about an hour to an hour and a few minutes long.
Oh, cool.
I think it ran like about 54 minutes actually.
Was this episode 1 or episode 2? Because I don't know.
Episode 1.
Stars. What?
It was episode 1. Episode 2 does not come out until. Actually, I think it should be coming out relatively soon. I think it wasn't nearing the. It was supposed to be nearing the end of October when it would get the theatrical release, at least. But episode 1 is available on, Amazon and a few other places.
Yeah, I rented it and watched it. I really liked it. I was actually looking to buy it. I was like, ooh, and then I went on eBay. And it was like, hey, it's on DVD, or no, not DVD, Blu-ray for $98. I'm like, hell no. No. Went on Amazon and rented it, and I really liked it. So then I gave my YouTube account out to my buddy for a day. I was like, watch this movie. And he was just like, dude, what? And then he tried to go and buy it, and he had the same reaction. He's like, yeah, they were just good renting it for now.
Yeah, I think the reason why is because Right Stuff is the one who's initially going to be releasing all the Gundam DVDs at this point, except for the ones that are regioned for Japan. But, sorry, let me think here. But, yeah, Right Stuff was supposed to be getting the copies for the collector's edition of the film. It has all the stuff in it. It has the English dub, it has the Japanese dub, and the English subtitles, and a bunch of other stuff included in it, like an art book and whatnot, and it's $100, or close to it.
Yeah, I can't justify paying that much money for one movie.
Yeah, if it was like all the episodes all in one, I would see why, but...
Oh, yeah, if it was all the episodes on, Blu-rays with expert commentary, hell, maybe maybe like a model kit coupon or discount code or something to use on a website.
Yeah,
that would be great. But $100 for just one movie.
Yeah,
I can't do that. I can't.
I mean, I'd understand if... I mean, that's what they do with almost what they do with like collector's editions for video games, and that's pushing it quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know, value.
It's like, is it worth the money?
There, I guess.
The demand is there, but is it worth your money?
Yeah.
That's true.
I wish that they would have just like released a separate, like maybe standard regular DVD version, and it like cost like maybe $20 or so, or maybe heck 30. I don't know. And they just add that to an option for, everybody.
Yeah. I mean, DVDs at this point, like I know Turn just recently came out on DVD, and my whole thought was, why didn't you just put that on a Blu-ray? Like DVDs really at this point starting to become obsolete.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're getting that way.
So I like, or just do like a DVD Blu-ray combo pack, which I think what they're doing with the first Gundam collection. I think they might be doing that.
I don't know. I think it was just for Blu-ray edition.
Oh.
The whole thing, I think, is just Blu-ray, which I'm fine with because
me too.
I'm going to buy that inevitably, but the deal for Zeta Gundam was pretty good, and I'm just hoping that when it gets here, I won't be screwed over like I was when I tried to buy Stardust Memory.
Well, yeah. Well, they're doing an HD remaster of that soon.
Yeah, they'll be doing a lot of remastering of pretty much all the Gundam shows. We talked about it a few weeks ago with all the releases of the stuff that was announced. dubbed for Iron-Blooded Orphans, what was the other stuff? Build Fighters and Build Fighters Try getting DVD releases, as well as the ones we already knew, which was Double Zeta and probably Zeta Gundam again. I'm guessing. I'm not positive. But, yeah. So that happened. Okay, well, I guess we can move on to the actual new news, not the stuff that we've rehashed before. The news so far is that the manga version, or there's going to be a new Gundam anime of Thunderbolts, which is a manga that I have never read. I've seen the model kits for it, which are normally they're crazy with the way that they like add a whole bunch of different weapons and like really zany stuff. But it's getting an anime adaptation soon.
Like an OVA or a full, like, 50-episode series?
I think it's getting, like, a short OVA series. Like, I think about 6 episodes. I think.
That would be great because I absolutely love the Thunderbolts. In fact, I went down to my local hobby shop and got my buddy the Zaku 1 Thunderbolt. And he absolutely loves it.
Yeah, hold on a second. Let me double check.
I got excited though for a second. I thought when I heard Thunderbolt, I really wanted to hear Crossbone. But I deal with this for him.
Yeah, it's a teaser right now. There's no footage or anything. But yeah, it's been greenlit. Let's see. The book was 6 volumes, so yeah, it might just end up being a 6-episode OVA series. Should be interesting, though.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that should be nice with because usually the OVAs you get that better quality, the storytelling's better, and the animation's better.
Yeah.
So that should be cool.
Yeah, because that's basically what Gundam The Origin is at this point. It's just an OVA series of very short films and whatnot.
Yeah, it's only going to be 4 films long. The manga obviously covered the entire first Gundam series just being retold.
Yeah.
These 4 films are only probably going up till 0079 when the 1-year war started, and then they'll tell everyone, hey, just watch the original show again.
Yeah, well, with it coming out on DVD, it's a good marketing ploy, I think.
Exactly. A nice segue, like, hey, continue watching the story now with 30-year-old animation. Here you go.
Enjoy, everyone.
Exactly.
or you could just buy the manga too.
Or that, yeah. But reading is hard.
Oh yes, it's so difficult. I mean, seeing all the idiots on the internet, it's just so difficult to actually pick up a book and read.
Hey, with my crippling lixdexia, it's hard.
Okay.
Nice.
I did not know that was... Well, some people have that, Some people do have trouble reading, and I understand that.
Yeah, of course.
We have to be considerate of people and their, disabilities. I mean, I'm no exception. I have ADD, so... Say la vie, everybody. There. Now you know a little bit more about me. I'm attention deficit disorder. In other words, I get distracted by shiny things.
But interestingly enough, you were compelled by the political intrigue of Gundam Wing despite having ADD.
Initially, I don't know. There are certain parts of, I guess, my mental state that draws me to certain things, regardless of I don't know, my aptitude to space and forget things or, get distracted. I mean, I'm always jumping from one thing to another almost constantly. It's my fun little quirk I have, I guess. It's like, oh, hey, I'm going to do artwork. Oh, wait, no, I don't want to do art anymore. I want to start making videos on YouTube.
It's a different form of art.
Hey, variety's the spice of life.
Exactly. That's how I normally look at it. It's like, I just like being varied. I have too many hobbies. I got a ton of them. That's the reason why the podcast even exists in the first place. It's like, hey, let's share share hobbies with everybody. What does everybody else like to do? Blah, blah, blah. Yada, yada, yada. So, yeah, that was a interesting topic that pretty much went absolutely nowhere. Or it didn't go very far because we actually, since I've never read this manga and whatnot, I have nothing to add to it.
Yeah, the only thing I know about it is that it takes place during the 1 Year War in a different side, as opposed to where most of the main conflicts were going on that we saw on the other shows.
Which happened on side 3 and side 7.
Yeah, and I think this one is side 9. I could be wrong, though. I'm too lazy to open up Google and actually look, but yeah, it takes place in a whole nother sector, which was properly called the Thunderbolt sector.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's something that I should ask. Has anybody else actually read mangas that are not connected to the main storylines of Gundam? Well,
not I.
Well, aside from the noob, congratulations, you've reaffirmed your status.
Just gonna assume that I haven't read.
Well, you just said you didn't read it.
Yeah, no, I haven't.
You just admitted it on open broadcast, genius. Can't defend yourself. You've admitted it.
Back down. I'm going back to my drink.
Good idea. How about you, Sinanju? Have you read anything?
In terms of something not related to the main storyline, would you count Glory of the Losers?
I don't really know what that is.
It's a retelling of Gundam Wing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is it fan-made?
No, it's not fan-made.
Okay.
This is official.
Okay.
It's a manga retelling of Gundam Wing using all of Kotoki Hajime's redesigns of the Gundams.
Oh, okay. No, I haven't read that one. I do have a small collection of side Gundam stuff that hangs out on my shelf. I've got... Oh, what is it? I've got Blue Destiny, which seems to only have one volume. Though I know there's more to the story, but I don't know if there are any other volumes out there that even exist in English. I have... Oh, what is it called? I think it's called Gundam Side Stories, which is pretty interesting. It's kind of like 8th MS Team a little bit.
Where the Pale Rider came from? Because I know they made a few video games with Gundam Side Story in the title.
Yeah, I don't know. Hold on a second. Let me double check and make sure. Oh, sorry. Wrong name. It's Lost War Chronicles, which is a pretty interesting book. It's only 2 volumes, but that one's also... it's kind of like an 8th MS Team 1 Year War story, but follows both sides. Both a Xeon commander and a Fedi commander. I have another one that is called... Oh, I'm probably going to butcher the name. Elxio... something. It's about a female protagonist that seems to be in some sort of academy for pilots. I only have 1 volume of it. I know it was a longer series, but I don't have very much of it. And I have... What? Go ahead.
oh, no, I'm sorry. Go on.
The only other one I have, besides a volume of Gundam The Origin, is Gundam 00F, which is a side story from Gundam 00. I always like the side stories, opposed to the ones I've already seen in, animated format.
Yeah.
But the F story was interesting, following a different Gundam Meister. A crazy one, I might add. even more crazy than the other kids.
Oh, those crazy kids and their robots.
Them crazy kids and them robots. It actually involves he's like a former prisoner or something. He's an actual criminal. And you could just look at his face, and it's just like insane. Just through and through, almost pretty much 90% of the time, he's got this like crazed, demonic look in his face. He kind of looks a little bit like Orga from Iron Blooded Orphans, only more crazy, you know.
Maybe he's not bad. Maybe he's just really drunk.
No, he's pretty bad.
I'm gonna get in my robot. I'm gonna do things. Shut up. Robots all flying like lopsided. I'm gonna stop everybody.
Wouldn't that actually be funny if they actually showed a Gundam pilot getting hammered? I think that would be funny. Actually, that would be great for like a short little animated clip. I think that would be hilarious.
Like 0083 with that really, really like, I want to use a really derogatory word, but I'm not going to. Yeah, that guy, he had the mustache. I can't remember his name, but yeah, he was a real jerk. There's a better word. He was a jerk.
Oh, was he one of Ko's friends?
No, it wasn't a friend. They didn't like each other at all.
No, I meant he worked in Ko's platoon.
They worked in the same thing. He eventually joined the Titans, I think.
Oh. I must have... it's been too long since I watched that one, so I don't remember him. But if he piloted the mobile suit drunk, that would have been hilarious.
Yeah, he piloted a powered GM while chugging whiskey.
Now that I remember... I have seen Gundam pilots drink before. Not getting totally wasted, though. You know, just like off the wall, like, I'm so drunk I shouldn't be behind the wheel. Or in this case, behind the cockpit. I've never seen someone go that far, but I've seen them, you know, like, maybe take a shot or drink a little bit, and it's like, oh, here we go. Yep, that hit the spot.
Yeah, not like bringing a whole freaking handle with you into the cockpit and be like, I'm going to shoot down everybody. No one's going to stop me. I'm the best.
Look at me. I am so awesome. Well, I will pilot this thing even better when I'm hammered. It's not true. It's a lie.
Just crashing into stuff.
Yeah, meteors, debris. Yeah. His own ship. I'm sure that the operators are going to be like, hey, who let that pilot start driving?
Oh goodness. I just imagining if you ended up like throwing up and you're in 0 G.
Oh no.
Oh no.
That's horrible. Well, if your friend the animator wants to, he now has a brilliant idea.
It's like a snow globe of filth.
Oh. No, the imagery's too much. Oh, no. It's over 9,000. Oh. One of the most overused memes ever.
Don't drink and drive your giant robot.
Yes, don't do that. You should never do that. Also, don't do that when you're driving a car either. Or probably riding a bike. Or pretty much any format where you could accidentally hit somebody. Please don't drink and drive. In general. That's my philosophy. Don't drink and drive. Have a designated driver. Or call a cab. I don't care which. Take the bus. Who cares? Just don't be on the road.
Or call your friend's giant robot.
Yeah.
Hey, shoot down that guy. That's one of our guys. Nah, man, he's a jerk. Just take him out. No one will know.
Actually, to be perfectly honest, I think that we could probably take some of these sound clips and your friend could animate these.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, he could do that.
Does he have enough skill to draw a robot?
Yeah, he does. I mean, he'll do it in his own style, obviously.
Yeah.
All I have to do is ask him. I should probably get on that soon because he contacted me not too long ago.
Yeah.
And he was going to be going to college maybe like 2 towns over. And he just got back to me. He's just like, hey, man, that college turned me down, so I'm going to go out to Colorado and go to college with my brother. I'm like, oh, shoot, dude. Yeah, and I live in Connecticut, so going out to Colorado, it's like,
That's a
You
problem.
sell me your truck. But yeah, all I have to do is contact him, give him some time, and I'm sure he'll come up with something. He owes me a favor anyway.
Oh, okay. I need to work on my own channel art for the channel anyway. I've been slowly working on it, but I have no way to color it on my computer. Sadness. First world problems. I have too many. Okay, we could talk about... this is a small thing, but I thought it would be interesting to see what your guys' take on it. Bandai announced a game that will be... a new Gundam game called Cross War. That is a trading card game that will have both a physical copy or physical versions and digital versions. Does anybody have thoughts on that?
Okay. First thoughts. Are you at least going to get an English text version?
That was my first thought too. It's like, please, English version. Either, at least for the digital version. If it was just for the digital version, I think I'd be okay. Because I would probably spend way too much money on cards to begin with.
I'm guessing that the digital is going to be like an app on your phone or something.
It'll probably be a mobile game. It seems to be a mobile game. It's not out yet. It's been announced.
Huh.
I've seen some footage of it. It looks relatively easy or interesting. It might not be easy. It might actually be very hard to play. I don't know.
I don't know. I think card games are cool.
Yeah.
One thing is that eventually, I mean, like if you look at like okay, I'm exposing myself here. So if you look at like Pokemon or like Magic the Gathering, I mean, they've kind of gotten to this point, like as card games, where they're pretty much money makers, and if you want the good cards, the good booster packs, stuff like that, you got to pay money, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I know in this modern day and age, making a card game, I feel like, you know, if you do want to have like the good stuff, you're gonna have to put some money into it, you know?
Yeah.
Just like free to play, and you know.
I usually would attest to that because when I was younger, when I would like start card games and whatnot, I normally didn't care what I had. You know, I took what I got, basically.
Yeah.
Sorry. But, I mean, whether it was like collecting Yu-Gi-Oh cards or it was collecting Pokemon cards or anything of that nature, it used to be that you could just build something out of it. It didn't always have to have a theme. It didn't always have to be a certain card to play in tournaments and whatnot, though I didn't play very many. But in this day and age, when it comes to card games, it's like, my gosh, this is insane. If you want to be like a competitive player and you want to win tournaments, it's just insane how much cards cost.
Yeah.
I mean, recently looking into like Yu-Gi-Oh cards and whatnot, it's like I have to pay $1,000 for a deck of cards that probably cost about a grand total of 10 cents to make.
Yeah.
Good to know. Glad I know where my money's going.
But that hologram foil, though.
I have noticed that Yu-Gi-Oh cards have gotten a lot cheaper over the years. I think because a lot less people are playing.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, and this is what I always say. Like, I have a ton of friends who play Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
And they ask me, like, oh, will you play? And I know how to play. And, you know, people have given me, like, decks before to play around with. But it's, like, it's past me. Like, you know, I was into Yu-Gi-Oh! Real hard when I was a kid. And even someone going into my teenage years. And tragically, all my cards were lost when my friend's house burned down.
Oh.
And yeah, well, just a little thing. Everyone was fine. No one was at home when it happened. But yeah, all the
that's
cards
good.
were gone.
Yeah.
And my friend is playing some sad Metal Gear Solid music behind me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, it was very sad. I lost them all. But anyway, I just can't invest the time or money in cards anymore. But when I looked online, you know, I was like, oh, you know, maybe I'll build up my old deck again.
Yeah.
The cards that I paid like $5 each for. They're like, hey, this card's like 10 cents.
Yeah.
And I think the reason like Yu-Gi-Oh hasn't gone down is, well, one, the anime isn't as popular anymore.
No, its popularity has declined.
Yu-Gi-Oh got really, really stupid, complicated.
Yeah, it used to be, well, I think the term that a lot of those players call it now is like, it used to just be like whoever basically had the strongest monster won the game. Basically, it's like you basically pound your enemy into submission until they basically can't get up anymore. It's like, that's still the way it plays now. It's changed. It's added new rules and new things that make no sense. I can attest to that. When I did recently get back into like buying some of the cards because there was a collection of cards that I wanted to have because I'm obsessed with King Arthur and I'm obsessed with knights. Thus my name. Again, it has crept up again. So it's like I wanted to get the Noble Knight set, but it's gotten really weird. The new rule sets that have come out have gotten to the point it's like, is this even the same game anymore? Why don't you just make a whole new one?
Yeah.
Try again. Wipe the slate clean and start over. Actually, that might not be a bad idea.
No, it wouldn't be. But I think that's why I wish I got into Magic, because it stayed pretty consistent over the... How many years has Magic been out? Like almost 30 at least.
Yeah, it's older than any of the other card games that we've been talking about.
If I ever have to get back in, that's the one I would stick with, just because I appreciate the consistency with it.
For card games, I've always been a fan of anime-related ones, so...
And that's totally fine.
Yeah.
But, like, I can't even imagine what someone would do if they came up to me and, because I like playing poker. I play poker with my friends on a few occasions. I don't know what I would do if someone came up to me like, all right, guys, poker is now totally different now. What? Like, no.
Yeah.
I don't play this anymore.
Yeah, it would be like taking classic card games and completely changing the rules, like with like Go Fish or Old Maid or any card game of any type. It's like, oh yeah, we completely changed the rules. It doesn't work this way anymore. Now you have to do X, Y, and Z before you can even get started. It's like, why?
That'd be so hilarious. It's like, well, you have a royal flush, but I have a straight, and they're all level 12.
Exactly. That's exactly the point. I mean, I've seen with the Yu-Gi-Oh game, they just released, or like earlier this year, they changed the rule set again. It's like the old rules were fine. The problem is that Konami keeps breaking the game over and over again.
Also Konami.
Yeah. They're trying to find ways to, keep that money boat going while it's probably a sinking ship or getting close to it. Maybe.
Man, there's a gaping hole in their hull. Like, they are sinking fast.
Yeah, because the new thing that they got going is called pendulum summoning for monsters and whatnot, and it added 2 new parts to the board, the game board, which has always been fine and has never needed to be changed or altered. But with the new set of creatures that act not only as monsters but also as trap cards and spell cards, and they break the game. I watched somebody playing around with these, and he showed how easy it is to use them. He had an entire field within less than a few turns without doing anything or paying any cost to it. It's like, what happened when if you wanted something in the game, you had to earn it?
Nope, instant gratification.
I guess that there is a little bit of a sense of pride when you can get your strongest monsters onto the field in less than a couple turns. It'd be like, oh yes, I feel so empowered at this point. Until somebody actually has a Mirror Force or something, and you realize, oh crap. Never mind.
You can't play that anymore. That card is banned.
that was also another thing I never understand. Why do we ban cards?
Because I guess with whatever new thing, like, the only thing I heard is whatever new thing they come out with then conflicts with the old stuff, and it's just like, see, I mean, even Magic does that.
Yeah.
Magic will ban old cards, and it's just like, but of course, if you just play with your friends and whatnot, you just say, hey, all cards go. Even those joke cards that are like, hey, rip this card up and throw it in your opponent's face like confetti.
Yeah, that would be funny. But actually, well, we strayed a bit off topic on that one, but yeah.
Right.
There isn't really a whole lot to say about the Gundam Cross War game except for that, I don't know, it looks a little bit like, oh, what is that? I don't know, actually, what it looks
Can I
like.
make some predictions?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, these are my predictions for this game. It is going to be very mediocre.
Uh-huh.
It is only going to be out in Japan.
Most definitely.
It is definitely going to be a freemium game, so it's free to download, free to play, but not free. So you're going to have to pay a little bit extra money to get those cards because, if you guys think that the freemium model is bad here in America, in Japan it's even worse.
Yeah.
So I can't see this like really standing out too much. I think like for the Japanese market, it'll be something that people will play and download for a little while, but then something new will come out and just replace it.
Yeah.
It's one way to earn back the money of it. And it looks pretty simple as it is, but Gundam over in Japan is obviously as popular as almost like what Disney is here.
Yeah. It's about the same level of popularity down there because, I mean, they have their whole museum down there. They have a full-scale Gundam statue standing out in front of everybody that lights up and everything. It's like, well, basically it's an amusement park. It's basically Disney of Japan.
I still want to go and see it.
I would like to go and see it too because they also have a model kit shop nearby too.
Yeah, Tokyo Front, I think it's called.
Yeah, the Tokyo Front, where all the goodies are.
I love my Phoenix.
Yes. I know what you're talking about. I don't have one myself. I don't have the money.
They're all right. I'd honestly say if you want to go with the master grade simply because of its finish, just the only downside with it being that plated like chrome gold is you really can't top coat it at all.
Yeah. I don't always like the gold kits very much. I know I want to get the new Hakushiki. Master grade.
Looks awesome.
Yeah, the finish looks better, and it's better. It's more undergated than other kits have been in the past, so probably it'll be okay. Hopefully, it won't attract too many fingerprints.
I've seen it shouldn't. It's kind of like a very flat, like solid gold. So
yeah.
It's not like the mirror finish where every fingerprint touches it. Like any top coat, like I said, every top coat ruins it.
Yeah,
it's not a very troublesome kit. All the reviews I've heard, like the articulation's great. It feels solid, so I would definitely suggest going for it.
At some point, I probably will, just not right now because I don't got the money for it. It's it's kind of a pricey kit. It's over $50 in Japan, so that's kind of pricey for plastic kit.
Yeah, I'll myself that I know some pre-orders are still. I'm trying to get that master grade Ultron EW, and I was like, I'm gonna get this, but then it's like, wait, I have rent to pay.
But Bandai keeps trying to get you to buy their stuff.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's just like, if I've got to like fix my car up or I got to pay my rent, I'll tell Bandai like, hell no, not right now. I can wait.
Yeah, I normally go with high grade kits because of their more affordable nature. Because normally that I could at least maybe possibly buy whichever one I'm interested in at least maybe once a month or so. I don't always, but it's an option.
Yeah, and there's more models that are out in high grade form. They're simpler to build, so there's less time of you building them, and
Yep. Especially if you're just straight building, which is what I normally do.
Definitely do have an advantage. I do like them a lot.
Yep. I recently ordered the Barbatos, actually.
Ooh.
I'm just hoping that it gets here at some point, but I have like a 10 to 30 day wait period, and I think the 10 days are over, and I can't track it because of the shipping format I picked, which was the cheapest.
Have you ever decided to shop through Gundam Planet? That's where I go.
I actually have before, but I have to pay for shipping, and I don't like... The problem is with U.S. kit stores, they're always charging you more for the kit than what it actually costs. They jack the price up, and it's like, I'd rather just like go to Hobby Link Japan, buy the kit, for actually cheaper than even what it would normally be in Japan, and then pay for the shipping, because I'm going to be paying for the shipping anyway. And I think I'm just balancing it out a little bit better.
The only plus side to ordering locally is you don't have to wait as long.
Yeah, that's true.
I have never, I've ordered kits from overseas before, and there's usually been problems, especially when it goes through customs and whatnot.
Yeah, sometimes that does happen.
My box has been crushed, this and whatnot. I remember I've ordered through Gundam Planet very frequently, and I ordered a model kit from them. It was a 1-to-144 high-grade Kshatriya.
Yeah.
When I got it, the box had been completely damaged, crushed in. So I just let them know. I'd be like, hey, it's fine. Don't worry about it. I just want to let you know this happened. They're just like, send it back. We'll send you another one.
Yeah.
And I'm like, really? They're like, yeah. And they're only right in New Jersey. And once I get my tax return, I'm planning on driving down there with my buddy and just picking up some kits and driving home. It's only like an hour away.
Lucky you. Lucky you that you're close enough. Now, if there was a shop in my area that I could buy kits from, I'd probably go there. But I don't have that luxury, unfortunately.
Oh, you don't have like a Hobbytown USA near you?
Please. I live in both me and Megazord live out in the outskirts. We're on the outer rim territory here when it comes to getting things. If we want to...
Closest, well, I guess Portland.
The closest would be Portland.
Yeah, or Vancouver.
Portland or Vancouver. That would be our closest locations, right? And that's like, what, about a 2-hour drive?
Yeah.
Between 2 and 3 hours. And then you have to find the shops, wherever they may be.
We should just have a review day where we go out, we find these cool places, and we'll do reviews on them online.
You guys even have a Barnes and Noble near you guys?
No.
Oh,
no, that's
we don't even have. Yeah, we don't even.
You know what? This is really kind of a side note here, but the Barnes and Noble that's at the Lloyd Center Mall, they have like a whole little wall section thing designated for Gundam suits.
For kits, yeah.
For kits, yeah.
Barnes and Noble normally does have some. We don't even have a Walmart in our area.
Yeah, no.
We're in between this is like a 3 small town area. Or, well, not really small. One is small and the other 2 are mediumly sized. And we don't even have a Walmart within the area. There's supposed to be one, but their competition is constantly making it difficult for them to get here. We can't even get like a Walmart or a Target.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Now, I only have all these stuff nearby because I live in southwestern Connecticut, and that's obviously you're not that far away from New York City, New Jersey, stuff like this.
Yeah.
But if you're not in the areas around Hartford or New Haven, you are out in the freaking sticks.
That's basically where we're at right now. We're in the sticks.
I mean,
hey, we have a Costco.
Yes, we have a Costco and a Fred Meyer's and 2 Safeways. Whoopity-doo-dah day.
We recently just got a Sonic up here, and it's like the only one in the state.
Oh my goodness. I mean, we don't have a Sonic down in our area either, so don't feel too bad.
And I think we had one Krispy Kreme donuts, and then it went away.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you know what? All right, you know what you guys have that we'll never have?
What's
Hardee's
that?
and Carl's Jr.
Well,
They will not do business in the Northeast.
to be fair, we don't even have one of those in our area. We have them in like Portland and in the bigger cities, but down here, no, we don't. We have like Burger King, McDonald's, KFC, and Taco Bell and Dairy Queen. That's it.
Well, Taco Bell is life.
For some people.
You just don't say
there
no
this
to the
evening.
bell.
No, absolutely not.
Okay, well, that was another thing off topic.
Hey, we're
I hope-
having fun.
Yeah, we are. We're having a good time. Actually, you know what? I'll pose this question to you, Sinanju. Because we talked a little bit about it on episode 2, I think, or 3. I'm not sure because I can't remember when. Because I haven't edited 3 yet. Because that goes up on Saturday. But, how do you feel about Gundam games that aren't released in the States?
That's a really good question. All right. You have like factoring in the fact that what are the ones that we got recently? Probably those Dynasty Warriors ones, and
Yeah, that's all we get.
those have a very niche market themselves. I mean, I know that expanded with releases like Hyrule Warriors and whatnot,
Yeah, and the new Dragon Quest Heroes game, too.
and that too. But you know, even if you like them, people have to admit like these are pretty repetitive combat games.
Yeah, they are.
You know, where I mean, I do like the variety in them, and like, oh, you know, hey, they showed this suit, and they had this suit, and they have these characters interacting. That's fine. And prior to that, you mean we had Mobile Suit Gundam Crossfire, which was atrocious of a game.
I own a copy.
I'm sorry.
I bought it used. Don't worry. I did not give the people my
I'm
full
still
money.
sorry.
I bought it because I tried it out because I had a PlayStation 3 and I wanted a Gundam game. So I tried it. Didn't much care for it very much, but I decided, you know what? It's at my local video store. They're not going to be, you know, using it. I'll just have it in my collection. I played it for a bit, and I think that at some point, if anybody wanted to, I would probably play it on my channel just for the sheer amount of rage, and also at the same time the hilarity that has happened to me in the game, because I've had at least 2 instances where it was so laughably bad. I think it would have made great content if I actually had the ability to record it at that time, because I had the mission where I had to shoot down some flying enemies. Unfortunately, my mobile suit was completely damaged. I lost all weapons and I couldn't fire on them. So I had to rely on my teammates, who are idiots, to shoot the final flying ship down. And I'm like, please finish. Please kill them. They did, and I'm like, oh, thank goodness. Oh, that was horrifying. And the other one that I think was even more funny was me actually fighting the enemies. And I had like maybe 1 enemy suit left. And I had no arms. My legs were heavily damaged. I was on the verge of death. And basically, I kicked the last enemy to death. I'm not kidding. I literally was like just kicking him in the shins just to kill him. It's like, I'm not giving up. I've worked too hard. It's like, oh look, I won. Really? I won by kicking him in the shin until he blew up? Oh boy, that was just hilarious.
Hey guys, I'm gonna be right back. Less than 2 minutes.
You got it. What was that?
My friend's got a laser gun behind me.
I see. So he's making sound effects.
Yes, he is.
Good for him. Glad he's having fun.
Oh yeah, we went to Walmart together and we got these toy guns. What are they called? Adventure Force. They're called. Yeah. So we got these Adventure Force guns. They're like less than $5 each, but they're perfect cosplay guns. All you have to do is repaint them, and they're just great. They're amazing quality. That's the funny part about them, because what is it? When you pull the trigger, the hammer moves back and makes a sound effect. They have like twist-on silencers that will change the sound effect. I mean,
Wow.
yeah, yeah, for $5.
Wow. That's a good deal.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's including tax.
Yeah, but even still, I mean, what is it? I don't know what sales tax is over there, but Connecticut, it's like 5%.
I live in Oregon. I have no sales tax.
Closest state we have is New Hampshire. New Hampshire doesn't have sales tax either. Also, you can walk around with a shotgun over your shoulder and no one cares.
That's scary.
That's a little intimidating, but it's no problem.
As long as the shotgun is open over your shoulder and the ammo is in your pocket, it's not a problem. Well, that's because there's not people up there really don't care, and there's bears everywhere.
No. Well, yeah, if you're in like a rural area, I guess that wouldn't be a big a problem, especially if you're like the type of person who likes to walk through a good portion of the area and whatnot, and bears are a thing. I could see that being okay.
I'll give you another example. I went up there to see some family, and they had a tree in their backyard, that big tree, and it was rotting apart. And my cousin was like, "Hey, let's go take down this tree." I'm like, "Okay, where's your saw?" He's like, "Oh, we're not getting a saw." He pulls out all these guns. He's like, "We're gonna shoot down this tree." We're there just like unloading into this tree, and then a cop shows up. We're like, "Oh no!" The cop goes, "Hey guys, is that tree gonna fall on anybody?" We're like, "No." And the cop's like, "Oh, can you please show me all the permits for those guns?" My cousin's like, "Okay." He goes inside, gets them all, shows them to the cop. Cop's like, "Okay, have a nice day." And just leaves. And I just look at him and I was like, "Dude, if we were in Connecticut and that happened, we'd be dead." And he was like, "Yeah, it's a lot cooler up here, isn't it?"
Yeah.
Oh, I see. You know,
Megazord is
little,
back.
Yeah, good. Our little friend's back.
Yeah.
So, let's see. What was going on about?
Well, we were talking about the releasing of Gundam games
Yes.
to other countries.
Well, I kind of understand where the Japanese are going with their decisions like this, but I also strongly disagree with them. Again, on a business standpoint.
Yeah.
They have a lot of good games that they're not localizing. Because as long as this is just like Japanese business decisions. As long as their demographic is met, they don't really care if they can make more money outsourcing it, even if it would cost them next to nothing to just be like, "Hey, just take the text, translate it to English, and just release it digitally."
Yeah.
But they don't want to do that. They're just like, "Okay, we've met our market, that's it."
I mean, they did that with the last Dynasty Warrior Gundam game, which basically, I guess people had to beg to even get that. But, but the one thing that actually I'm a bit confused about is that the UK not only got digital versions, they also got physical copies. They got both.
That is weird.
That is strange to me. It's like, if they didn't care, then why? I know that I think Gundam has a bigger fan base in the UK than it does in the United States right now.
Maybe it's also because we nuked them.
That could be. There could be some animosity still there.
Mad about that.
It's like, let it go, Japan. That's ancient history. We love you. Come here.
You started the fight. We finished it. Let it go.
we love you. We'll give you a hug and a brownie. And some of Mom's apple pie, okay? You don't have to be upset anymore.
But that, to me, that is a foolish thing to do business-wise. Like, if you can maximize your profits and bring more attention to your product, why wouldn't you? But I believe it comes down to a lot of xenophobic pride in their business decisions. This is also why things like the Xbox brand failed in Japan.
Yeah.
And the Xbox One is selling like abysmally low, like really abysmally. But that's nothing new. When they were introduced in the first Xbox in Japan, Microsoft said we couldn't do it because they couldn't do it very well. And then their Japanese branch were just like, we hate the way you Americans conduct business.
Yeah.
It's a different practice. So
yeah, that's true.
The other thing is, I think they also know that Gundam is a very niche thing in the United States. but as is a lot of anime, like,
Yeah,
I'm sure
almost all of them are a niche market. The number of anime fans are normally outnumbered by the fans of, I don't know, like comic books, superheroes, Walking Dead, things like that. It's like, yeah, those things are much bigger here, or I'm sure they're big in several areas, but in comparison to anime, yeah, those fans outnumber us like 5-1.
Well, yeah, because it's something that's local here, that is based in our culture a lot. But then you have like animes that get huge over here, like Attack on Titan. I think is like one of the biggest ones right now,
At least currently. Dragon Ball Z, what used to be the gateway one.
Always going to be big over here.
Yeah.
And that's what they know, and that's why you can get lots of like Dragon Ball Z and Attack on Titan merchandise here.
Yep.
Because they know that's like, okay, But for Gundam, I don't know. It really just comes down to, it might just not be popular enough anymore. Because also look back when it was airing on Konami.
Yeah, they did
action figures, but I didn't see any Gundam. At least in my thing, I didn't see a lot of Gundam models. I found a few.
Yeah,
I found more toys than anything, and maybe this has to do with the Japanese or even the American distributors might think that, oh well, kids might not have the patience or dexterity to build a model kit, so let's just release some action figures. Which in part could be true. I do wish it was more popular over here, but in also some ways, I'm kind of glad it's not. But in terms of video games, it's like, come on, just translate the text and release it digitally.
Yeah.
Especially for me, I know all Gundam games come out on like a PlayStation platform, but I have a gaming PC, and if there was some kind of like really good PC Gundam game, I'd be all over it. But the ones that have come out on PC, you try to play them. I mean, this is the part that really bothers me. There was one that released, or I think two that released on PC, like Gundam like Battle Operations or something like that.
Yeah, also came out for the PlayStation 3.
Yeah, and if you tried to join a server and they recognize your IP address as American, you'd be booted right off.
Oh,
it's like,
sucky. And
this was, I think at the time, a free to download, free to play game.
It is, and it still is, and they have a new one out now too called Battle Operation Next, which I've played, and actually I played it earlier today, and I recorded a session. I tried to play a couple matches, but I was only able to get into one. But I'm using a Japanese account. So I don't know if they can... obviously they don't care, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to even play a match. Since I'm using my Japanese account. But... yeah,
I'm sure they don't care about that, but I think it's, I think it's just really like on PC if you were using like, they trace as an American IP or something like that. Wanted. I think that's kind of dumb.
I think you may have been better off by downloading it on your PlayStation 3 and using a Japanese account. You might have been better off.
Except I can't read kanji, so...
well, neither can I. I still with Battle Operation Next time... That is the problem. That's the biggest problem, actually. Is that I have Gundam games that are only in Japanese, and I can't understand what's going on. All I can do is like hope that I can navigate the menus properly and play the game.
Yeah, and it's weird because we can get games over here, like, very few games will, like in the States, will dub their games in two different languages. Usually it'll just be, okay, it's in English, but here's all the text options you have. It'll be like English, French, Spanish, German.
Yeah.
And over in Japan, you'll notice that, maybe the menus will be in English, but then when you play the game, maybe some stats will be in English, but, the text and whatnot, and the voices obviously will be in Japanese, but then you go to language options, you can't change the text to English. And this is funny to me because English is a mandatory core second language in Japan.
Yeah.
So it really makes me think too, why are they doing it? It's a pride thing.
Yeah.
It really comes down to it. And I actually looked at it as like, okay, then how come in some Japanese songs or anime or in games, why do they actually occasionally use English words? It's because in their language that word doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So they have to use an English word.
Yeah.
It's also the other language that they really know because they're taught you. It's like, when we say something like in Spanish, like amigo or something like that instead of friend, just depending on the context. So they will use an English word. So it really it's something that I really don't like or agree with, but I don't conduct business with the Japanese. I just hope that they can understand that yes, there is a market here in the West and in English-speaking countries.
Yeah,
and it wouldn't hurt to maximize your products by just introducing it a bit more.
Yeah, I think they're starting to get there, but I don't know how much longer it's going to take for Gundam to get to that level. Because I'm noticing that there's a lot of games that were released in Japanese for like the PlayStation 3 or for other systems or, for other PlayStation systems like the Vita and whatnot. But English versions are coming out now for the PS4 because, well, the PS4 has no games or doesn't have anything new to offer at this point, or very little. So they have to stock the shelves with something. So translating or adding these games in just makes logical sense. It's like, Bandai, you've been doing this already with a bunch of your other titles. You've got a Digimon game coming out. You've got, what is it? You got Digimon. You've got the Godzilla game came out. This is like 1 + 1 math. All you have to do, translate a Gundam game, any of them, that's better than what you've done in the past. Extreme Versus or Gundam Breaker. Bring those games out and see what happens. If you have sales for... I'm pretty sure they have the sales figures for like Dynasty Warriors Gundam. A good majority of those people are probably Gundam fans.
Mm-hmm.
So... my logic would be, it's like, okay, if that many people bought it, however many bought it, I don't know the numbers, but depending on how many people bought it, you have to assume that most of those are probably fans of your product, so you gotta throw them a freaking bone, is all I'm gonna say. It's like, throw us a bone, any bone. Heck, make Gundam Battle Operation Next in English. At least it'd be something, and it's a free-to-play game, which means you can nickel and dime us too.
Yeah,
make even more money. All you got to do is give us English subtitles. That's it. There's no story to the game, so just English subtitle everything, and then just like, oh hey, North America, pay us money. Anything to say, Megazord?
No. I agree with these ideas.
He's the yes man of the group.
You'd be the perfect politician. Yes. Yes, I agree.
Yes, I have listened to these ideas. I have considered them in the time that I've been allotted, and I have to say that they've seemed very, very good.
Well, actually, yeah. Me and Megas, at some point, we have to get together and actually play the Gundam game I was talking about.
Cool. And get some like gameplay, like
that is the plan.
Yeah,
and watch you horribly fail.
Yes.
Probably. Don't feel bad. I'll probably fail too. I suck at Gundam Extreme Versus. It's still fun, but I'm terrible at it.
That's like me and Tekken.
It's all about skill and or getting exceedingly lucky.
Button mashing.
Button mash and hope that you win. Button mash for the win. That's actually normally what I do in Extreme Versus anyway. There's no skill involved. I'm pressing buttons and hoping I don't die. I know the buttons. I'm just pressing them and hoping that I can hit the target. I actually managed to get somewhat lucky, so my skill must have improved somewhat because I beat my friend on it, so... Am I better? I don't know. Or is he just not as good as he thought he was? Of course,
it'd be a combination.
Of course, I think he was playing with suits that he's not the best with. He wasn't using, like, the Destiny Gundam or anything like that, which is apparently his go-to suit. I was like, oh, goody. I hate that thing. In more ways than one, thank you for using it, you idiot. I already know he likes the Destiny Gundam, so... I've known this for a while. Yeah, Rosca, I'm calling you out. What are you gonna do about it? Destiny Gundam sucks. I'll probably see you later, and you can probably kick my butt with it on Extreme Versus, and then I will cry in the corner again.
This just got really complicated.
No, not really. Did it really get complicated? Because I don't think it got complicated.
Emotionally. Got emotionally complicated.
Oh, it's emotionally complicated. Oh, I can't handle it.
You could just cut the tension with a knife.
Yes! That sounds awesome. It'll be fun. Yeah, let's cut some more tension with a knife. You know, it's actually something that we could talk about is video game remakes. We're gonna shift away from Gundam for the most part because I don't really have anything new to talk about unless you guys had anything new.
Nah, I got nothing right now. Brain's
No.
a little fried on the Gundam topic, but I'll have more later.
I'm sure we'll have plenty. At some point, hopefully we'll do like our favorite and least favorite things, but I'm gonna wait until Megazord has more background history. Hey, all you have to do...
I gotta get in that Gundam wiki. No.
You could, but that's not... That's
what I could be doing during this whole conversation. I could just be like reading off a Gundam wiki.
Yeah, and everybody
noticed
noticed.
Facts. Yeah, I really like this one part when this happened. And that happened.
Yeah, reading it verbatim.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I love that scene where Char Aznavour killed Amuro, citation needed.
Right? This is an open book conversation, right? I mean... Okay.
Well, it's okay. Hey, you've used, Google searches before, and it's fine.
I have. And actually, as you guys, you've been mentioning stuff, so I'll, look it up just so I can see what you're talking about. Like, if you mention some Gundam or something,
Yeah.
Just so I can see, oh, that's what it looks like, whatever.
Yeah, and hey, don't worry. All you have to do is... Well, actually, I won't talk about it now, but talk about it later. I can always give you the DVDs to watch, as I said earlier, so... We'll just have to find a time to meet so that can happen.
I also have all the DVDs.
Well, you probably have more than me. I don't have all the DVDs. I just have my collection, which is 2 sets of Unicorn, 8th MS Team, War in the Pocket, F91, and now I'm just listing it off. Gundam 00 Season 1 and Gundam Wing Season 1. That is my collection right now.
You got Char's Counterattack?
No, I do not. I need to get it.
Oh, I got that. It was one of the last copies. Now it's really hard to find.
Here, let me look up on eBay. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm gonna go look for Char's Counterattack on eBay. No, I'm sort of doing that, but please continue.
Well, you wanted to talk about video game remakes.
Yeah.
So, Megazord, would you want to start? So I have time to drink water because my throat hurts.
Video game remakes. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Man, I feel like I'm out of the loop on that one. I don't know what's being remade.
Everything.
Well, is there a
what?
Remaster?
What?
Isn't there a difference between remake and remaster, or are we just counting all re-releases at this point?
With remasters, I really don't care that much.
Yeah, I guess it's like improvements upon a game that was already made. It's not like major changes or...
Yeah. I don't know really why I wanted to talk about this, but some games that get remakes, I just wanted to get general thoughts on. I mean, Final Fantasy VII is getting a remake, so I guess that was the bulk of the reason for the topic, I guess. Because I couldn't think of much else. I was like, remakes. Sure. I was like watching videos on YouTube. I was like, Someone else discussing remakes. Oh, why not? I'll just slap that on there for no apparent reason, other than to say, "Hey, look, Final Fantasy VII's getting a remake." It's not like everybody else doesn't already know.
Yeah.
It was like the source of topic for a long time.
Oh. Well, I agree with it. Because I don't know, I mean, obviously it's been talked about to death, but just really quickly, I mean, Final Fantasy VII was the first RPG I played.
Yeah.
And I didn't mind the graphics at the time. Obviously, the graphics now, you know,
it has not aged
kind of
well.
akin to like prehistoric, you know, paleo Lego characters.
Yeah, it's a fossil at this point.
And you know, they did the Advent Children movie.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty epic. I mean, it wasn't the greatest story or character development or anything, but
no, it actually backtracked Cloud quite a bit.
Yeah. But the animation was pretty hyper crazy. I liked it.
Yeah.
It was just so over the top. But I mean,
it's Final Fantasy VII. It's Final Fantasy. When are we not going over the top?
Yeah, exactly. So the idea of that coming back as a game, I mean, I like that idea as a reason.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
Oh wait, yeah, the other one was Star Wars Battlefront. Because basically the new one is basically supposed to most people are either calling it Battlefront 3 or they're calling it a complete and total remake. Some people just can't make up their minds what it is.
I don't think I would even call it either.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it Battlefront 3.
Definitely not.
I would not call it a remake. I think it's its own entity.
Yeah, it should have been.
It's so much stuff from Battlefield. I mean, because it's DICE making it.
Yeah.
That in a way, while it does bring a lot of stuff in from like Battlefront 2 especially, it really just feels like Battlefield, the Star Wars edition.
Yeah,
which, I mean, in its own right, may not be the worst thing. I would have liked a Battlefront 3. I'm sure everyone would.
Anyone who's seen the actual original trailer that they had for Battlefront 3, yeah. That was supposed to come out before it was canceled.
Oh, yeah. But you know what I think? I think nowadays, as sad as it is, a video game like the original Battlefront 3 concept wouldn't be profitable anymore.
That might be
it. Have
it.
to compete with the big guns like Call of Duty all the time.
True.
Which is sad.
But it's Star Wars.
Yeah. The brand alone would bring in money, but they're looking to maximize profit. So they probably were just like, well, they said that DICE went to them. Otherwise, they were just going to just not make it. But they're pretty sure, hey, this will sell because now you're combining two different markets: the straight up FPS market, the Star Wars market, and the Battlefield and Battlefront markets together.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the soul is still there for that game, at least from what I've seen. But
maybe I'm not entirely sold.
I have not played it. It definitely looks like a Battlefront game. Obviously, I'm going to wait on that because now I need to download Origin in order to play it because, again, I have a gaming PC.
Right.
And I really don't want to do that because I'm comfortable with Steam, but yada yada. Let's see. Video game remakes. I will say one I really liked.
Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid: The Twin Snakes. Great remake.
No, that one I'm not entirely familiar with. I don't know a lot about Metal Gear. I only have seen like the first one.
It was,
I didn't even play it.
Solid 1 remade. Instead of being on the PlayStation 1, it's on the GameCube.
Oh, okay.
They incorporated a lot of stuff from Metal Gear Solid 2, which came out around the same time, like the ability to go in first person, the improved graphics.
Okay.
When they upped the voice quality, Metal Gear Solid 1 was recorded in a small apartment with like mattresses against the wall. So when they upped the sound quality, you could actually hear the cars and stuff outside, little bit filtered out all the way. And they changed some of the voices in there and some of the music, but so that's why I still kind of prefer the original.
Yeah.
However, I do recommend people to at least try the Twin Snakes. It was a good remake.
Yeah.
In terms of other remakes, I'm going to go back even further. Super Castlevania 4.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Now we're getting all retro.
That was a good game.
Yeah.
That series was great.
Yeah. Like if we're talking about a remake right there, that's a really good remake of the first one. Also, the PSP version of Rondo of Blood was good in my opinion.
I'm not familiar with that one.
No, neither am I.
What type
If you got a
type
PSP,
of game was that?
the hard, really difficult old style Castlevania games, it's a must get.
Oh. Okay.
So that side scroller type thing.
Oh yeah. So you really like, in my mind, like those were always the most fun.
Yeah. Sometimes a remake is good, but then sometimes I don't know. For the most part, when I heard about the new Battlefront, I was like, oh my gosh, I already know I'm not gonna like this. Because when it wasn't, I heard other people, it's like, I already know this isn't gonna be good or it's gonna have problems. I was concerned about pretty much everything. It's like I'm paranoid and I'm like concerned for just about every possible aspect of the game. Because, what was it? Battlefield 4 had its issues. It's like, oh my gosh, this game is going to be rushed. It's going to be broken the moment that it shows up. Although that doesn't seem to be the case with the beta, at least at the moment. No one's having connection issues. Thank goodness for that. It's like, okay, well, that's one of my fears alleviated. But still, at the same time, I don't know how I feel about it. I played Star Wars Battlefront 2 like crazy. I still have a copy. And just looking at the new Star Wars Battlefront makes me angry or makes me disappointed. It's one of the two. It either pisses me off or it makes me disappointed. It's like, okay, well, I can't wait to be nickeled and dimed for everything that I'm worth. Thanks. It's EA. I already know it's coming. I can see it.
You can always just not buy it.
Yep, that's the only other option. Just not buy it.
Yeah, just, that's the only way to really cause change in the gaming industry.
Yeah,
if you don't like something, vote with your wallet. That's the only way they actually listen to people.
Yeah,
exactly.
At the end of the day, these companies are they might do something in your favor, but at the end of the day, these companies are out to make money. You don't like what they're doing, don't buy into it.
Yeah,
and they'll be like, okay, we need to change up our business strategy. Now we need to do something that's favorable. They don't really care. They're just like, okay, this is where the money is.
Yeah. We don't have enough information on Final Fantasy VII to know what Square Enix will do with it. I have like only one concern, and it's the portrayal of how Cloud is supposed to behave and whatnot, and that's the only thing I'm worried about.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a Final Fantasy fan, so I probably would have no good solid input on that. But hopefully they don't change too much, because the whole purpose of a remake is to just bring back what was there and maybe just a better light, and especially in terms of visuals and whatnot.
Yeah, better visuals and better sound. Yeah, and then everyone's going to be upset. And because the fans of Final Fantasy VII have been begging for a remake for probably almost a decade now, because the game's reaching its 20th anniversary. And they've been, when that announcement happened at E3, when the PS3 was first launching, and they showed that remake trailer. Well, not really a remake, but it was a test. It's like, one, why did you pick that for your test footage? You could have picked anything else, Square. You could have picked anything else.
They wanted to keep fan interest going. And obviously the point was, hey, this is what the PS3 can do.
Yep, and that's one of the reasons why I bought a PS3 in the first place. It's like, oh my goodness, I can't wait for Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy VII Remake. Guess what? It's 10 years later and I still don't have it.
Wait,
it's not in my hands.
Please don't tell me you bought a PS3 around launch time, did you?
No, I did not, actually.
Good.
I bought mine used, actually.
No justification for spending $600 on it.
No, I wouldn't. I couldn't. I didn't have the money. Actually, when the PS3 launched, actually what I bought was a Wii.
Jesus. If I had $600 on hand, that would go right down towards car parts.
Yeah.
I would not be doing that.
Yeah. I bought mine used, and I waited like, I think about maybe 4 years or so. I missed probably a few amount of games, but also at the same time, I really don't care. I didn't buy it for $600. I saved money, and I was still hoping for Kingdom Hearts 3 and a Final Fantasy 7 remake, which neither of them happened. Until recently, it's like, oh goody, now I need a new system. Thanks. Just thank you. Thank you, Square. Here's what you get. Good job. Well done. You trolled me. Good job. GG.
Indeed.
It was like, oh my gosh. It was one of the things that pissed me off because the only other RPG I could get for several years was Final Fantasy 13, and I would rather dig a ditch. I tried twice, Square. I really did. I gave it my best effort, and I just couldn't tolerate it. I'd rather find as many copies as possible and find a giant trash bin and burn them. I don't care what my brother has to say about the matter. It's like, I like Final Fantasy 13. I like Lightning. Go screw yourself. Not really, no. It's like, no, Lightning is stupid. She is a cheap imitation of Cloud. And no one else is really likable very much. So, no. Square dropped the ball 3 times, surprisingly.
They've been doing really good on the mobile front. I mean, they have the most expensive mobile games, and they're selling.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
if they're like...
I mean, like an iPad game for $25. Okay.
Well, aren't the mobile games, like a lot of them, just like ports of their older games?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the ports for their older games are going to make some money off of that.
I think they're selling so well is because, well, Final Fantasy and what their other IPs are already well-established franchise. I remember Total Biscuit was talking about this today, actually.
Yeah.
And he actually brought this point up, said the reason why those sell so well and why they cost so much is because they're well-established. People know they're good already.
Yeah.
And they're willing to pay a little bit to play those games they know are good, again, just conveniently on the go.
Yeah.
But not going to be as optimized as they was for their original systems because you have to deal with a touch screen.
Right.
Right.
It was one of the things I was tempted to do because there was that remake for Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Lions. And I was tempted to buy it for mobile, and then I remembered I have a crappy tablet. That's not going to work. That's not going to fly.
Just get on the Vita.
If I had a Vita, I would, but I don't have one. I normally, when I go handheld, I go Nintendo.
Well, I guess I forget the name of that Gundam game, like Versus Force is coming. It's not coming to America, but it's getting an English version.
Yeah, for Chinese.
Yeah, so all you have to do is import it.
Yeah.
And play it. And I think, like, okay, that's all we're really asking for. English text.
That's it.
This is a sign of things to come. If people import it enough and they look at it and they're like, hey, maybe this isn't so hard just to include in the game normally. And that'd be fine.
Yeah. One can only hope and pray.
Well, hopefully.
Okay. Well, that was it for that. What else could we talk about?
Hey, I got a question.
Go ahead.
I'm just curious. This guy, sinanju. Am I saying that right?
Sinanju. Yeah, sinanju.
Sinanju. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you said if you had that kind of money, you'd be spending on car parts. Like, what are you talking about?
Of
fix
course.
my car.
Of course, leave it to the other gearhead to chime in.
Keep this piece of crap running.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
That's what
I
I kind
gotta
of figured.
flush out my coolant system. I gotta replace my tie rods. I just did my brake lines not too long ago, and my engine was stuttering. Had to fix that. My fuses were going. My spark plugs, my wires were bad. Because when I'm not building Gundam models or nerding out, I'm fixing my car.
Well, it seems as though you and Megazord have a lot in common. Because that seems to be most of the stuff that he does too. Work on his car. Or try and fix his jalopy.
Yeah.
Is that okay to call it a jalopy?
Sure, you can call it a jalopy.
Because I really don't know what else to call it.
Yes, we'll call it a jalopy.
Well,
No,
I mean, you
no,
had
it's
that
just
newer car. You had that nice shiny yellow one at one point.
Oh my gosh, we won't
That-
talk. We won't talk about
That me and my brother loved making fun of. That was always entertaining. Until Malloy crashed it.
No, actually, I crashed that one. I didn't crash it.
I thought Malloy did.
No, that was the Corolla. That
Oh,
was-
sorry, my mistake. Well, then shame on you for crashing it. No. It happens.
I recently got into an accident with my car. My first accident with my car. It was a rainy day, and I hit the brakes too hard, and I just had new pads and rotors put on, and they didn't catch right away.
No.
I slid in the back of this guy's car on a major road, and he gets out of the car. I get out of the car. I asked him, "Are you okay?" He's like, "Yeah." And my car is red. His car was white, and I was like, "Oh God, there's red paint on the back of his car." He looked at, he's like, "Is there any way I can get this off?" And I just was like, "You might be able to get it off with like a rag and some rubbing alcohol. It might take it off." He's like, "Oh, okay," because I really don't want to get my insurance involved. Bye, and just took off. I was like, "Okay, that worked out really well for me."
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, actually.
Lucky. Dodged a bullet.
Yeah. I was like, wow, I don't need that right now. I don't. I don't want my car insurance rates going up. I don't need this.
Okay. Well, aside from the gearhead talk, which
I was just scared of one thing.
yeah, it's okay. It's all right.
Oh, trust me, I'm open. Like I'm the new guy here. If you guys have any more questions for me, please go ahead and ask.
You like Gundam, that's all I need to know. No, I'm kidding.
That's all I care about. You piece of dirt.
I'm never that mean. I'm actually way too passive sometimes. It's like, no, it's fine. It's okay. We're all
like
good.
Robots? Yeah, good. That's all we need.
Well,
It's too. No one cares.
nope, this podcast is open for pretty much any nerd-related topics, although that could be a broad spectrum because we could talk about sports, we could talk about anything, because pretty much anything could be nerdy.
Talk about cars, and you're kind of like lost. You're like,
Considering that I don't drive, yeah. I use public transportation, thank you.
Well, if you ever do start driving, you'll know how much of a pain it is to get under the hood and start doing stuff because you don't want to pay for a mechanic if you don't have to.
That's the reason why I choose to use public transportation.
Well, see, yeah, it works for you. I mean, I don't really have that option because I have to take the highway to get to my job.
Yeah.
But, it's whatever, and
Yeah.
it's something to do, and that way, in case you're ever out with your friends or whatnot,
Yeah.
you notice a problem going on. I'll actually tell this a little bit of a story.
Sure.
And Megazord might know what I'm talking about on this. So I'm driving down the road with my buddy, and all of a sudden we see the temperature of his car is going up. I'm like, okay, there's something going on with your cooling system. So I look out the window behind us, I just see a trail. I'm like, oh my God, you're hemorrhaging coolant. So we get over to the side of the road. Car stinks of antifreeze.
Oh, no.
Pop the hood, and the hose going to his thermostat was just busted open. I was like, oh, no.
Yeah.
So we like jerry rigged this. We just wrapped duct tape around the hole and just poured in water. We just had like gallons of water. It was hot. So we brought some water to drink. We were just pouring water in his cooling system. It's like, dude, we can't let your car run this hot. Waited out for a while. It's like 90 degrees outside. That car must have been like well over 200 degrees. And we're just like, all right, let it cool down for a while. We finally drove it till we got a gas station. By the time a lot of that water had burned off already, temperature was going up again. And it even burned through a lot of the duct tape, so we had to rewrap that again. So he had to get a whole new hose. And I guess this is one thing I don't like with newer cars. They're replacing a lot of the metal with plastic under the hood. Why? It's cheaper, and then you have to pay to replace all that stuff. And it's just like, no. Like this is why I prefer to get older cars, because you can usually just go on eBay. People make the extra parts for them. Like if I need, like when I get my tie rod, it's gonna be like $20. My starter was $50. My flywheel was $11.
Wow!
Like they're just easy to get parts, and they're a lot simpler to work on. I mean, there's gonna be some problems. Like my car has like body rot issues, but that's normal for Ford Taurus. They're just known to do that.
Yeah.
But I digress. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Cars.
Welcome to the Mechs of the Roundtable podcast, where anything is talked about, even car trouble. We're so
for a second there, it became a text of the roundtable there for a second.
It's like all this talk.
Hey, mechs are metal, cars are metal. Come on.
Exactly. Right? Exactly.
Yep,
it's like just one step away from being a transformer. Come on.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
true. That's true.
We're blending the lines right there.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't mind. I'm not gonna cut I don't cut everything out anyway. I'm okay with most of this anyway. I'm just like, okay, sure. Let's talk about a car. Let's talk about our car trouble. No. It's fine. I guess, well, one of the things I don't think we talked very much about with the Flame War stuff, which I'm not going to start another one yet, but we were going to talk about comic books and comic book movies and stuff, and actually now that I think about it, it was something I was going to talk to you guys about was the movies and TV shows that are coming out or are already out. Something like that.
I have something I'd like to say.
Okay.
I think it's interesting
Okay.
that... Okay, so far, our Marvel movies have been pretty campy. I mean, it's ever since, the Disney merge.
Yeah.
Or actually, ever since Iron Man, actually, which was still, what was that, Paramount, I think?
Not sure.
Oh, okay. But, they have, it's kind of a fun feeling, right?
Yeah.
And DC's going for the dark, right?
Yeah. I think we've talked about this before a little bit in private. Yep.
Yeah, but the TV shows, however, like, DC is kind of going for more of the fun, family-friendly.
Yeah.
And, like, Marvel with their deal with Netflix, and they did Daredevil, and now they're going to do Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
I mean, this is pretty mature content.
Yep. Even Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. can get a bit dark, too, on occasion.
Oh, I haven't actually seen any Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Well, if you have Netflix, you can watch, like, the first 2 seasons.
Oh, okay, I might check it out then.
I think it's okay. I have fun watching it.
Yeah. But I just think it's interesting they're going different directions with, between movies and shows.
Yeah.
You know?
I think the reason why Marvel's doing with the deal with Netflix and whatnot, I think they purposefully chose darker characters because those were the characters that they weren't going to be advertising to younger audiences or kids or for a general audience. They were going to go with more of the gritty stuff for Netflix because they're allowed to get away with more stuff on that.
Right.
Because even Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. can get campy on occasion or is pretty kid-friendly.
Yeah. But Netflix is, I don't know, it's almost kind of like they're kind of going the direction of HBO type content,
Yeah.
Where you have like really good story, but then there's a lot of explicit content that's like wouldn't be so great for the mainstream community.
Yeah. Daredevil was okay.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I know only a little bit about Jessica Jones, so I have only read her only maybe once or twice in comic books, and the only thing that I really fully know about her is that, one, she used to be a superhero, and two, she's married to Luke Cage, who is Power Man. And that's about the extent of my knowledge on Jessica Jones. Yeah. I will watch the show. I know more about the villain that's supposed to be in the show than I do about the main character. I know more about the Purple Man.
The Purple Man? Who's the Purple Man?
Mind Controller.
Oh. Okay.
I know a little bit more about... I don't remember everything about him. I guess it's still on a limited base, but that's pretty much... He's a mind-controlling metahuman who's caused trouble for multiple people, but he's so... I don't know how they're going to make this guy, who in almost every other format of media that I've only ever seen him once in any format of TV, and that was in, what was it? Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes, the cartoon show, which is also on Netflix, and I recommend.
Good.
It is awesome.
Is it really?
It's a really good animated show because it took stories straight out of the comic books and put them into an animated feature with storylines.
I'll add it to my queue.
Do that.
I'll do it right now.
Do it right now. Actually, because it's really faithful adaptations to comic book stories and whatnot, with their own flair, but it's still pretty good. And Purple Man had one episode. I think it was the episodes was in season 2, and it was called Emperor Stark. And it was really weird. It was a fun episode, but the Purple Man was the main villain or antagonist for that episode. But they go to some fairly obscure guys in that one. At least I'm thinking. Well, yeah, they went to some fairly obscure ones, and there was cameo appearances of several other characters, like X-Men characters and Spider-Man.
Hell, they even had a Beta Ray Bill.
Yep, they had Beta Ray Bill.
And I was like, wow, you didn't see him too often.
I want to see him in the Marvel universe. I want to see him in the cinematic universe.
It's not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, considering we've already saw Guardians of the Galaxy, so the android horseman who gets Thor's hammer is not a far fetch.
No, not at all.
To see him at some point.
I mean, I am kind of bummed that we're not going to get another standalone Hulk movie.
Yeah, that's because of the rights that are given to Universal.
Yeah, but I understand, a lot of people don't know, why is it like this? Well, because Marvel was really going broke at a point, and they sold off their...
they filed for... They filed for... What is it called? They filed for bankruptcy, but Chapter 11 bankruptcy, the worst possible bankruptcy. Yeah. That's the reason why they sold out to Disney eventually. It's because they need that money. They need that backup and that support to keep them going.
Yeah,
though,
who knows what would have happened, but...
Well, they could have been bought out by somebody else, too. They could have been bought out by Warner Brothers.
Well, then Warner Brothers would have owned both Marvel and Disney. Figure about it.
Yeah, that would have been interesting to see what would happen if that was a thing. That would probably be the best what if scenario or what if comic book story ever. What if both universes merged together?
But all right, for example,
both companies
Disney
merged.
owns owns Lucasfilms.
Yeah.
And it owns Marvel directly.
Yeah.
But Disney owns Warner Brothers, which owns DC. And you won't see a DC Marvel crossover like you did maybe in the late 80s, early 90s anymore.
Yeah.
It's similar how DreamWorks films and Disney films are interlinked.
Yeah.
In fact, DreamWorks films will oftentimes make fun of Disney films, subtly.
Yeah.
So it really shows that, hey, even though a few things can be under a parent company,
Yeah.
It doesn't mean they're going to interact. For example, like craft foods, like craft
What?
cigarettes. But you're not going to be like seeing ads where it's like, "Hey kids, after you're done smoking up, go get some mac and cheese." It wouldn't happen like that.
No.
Like,
No.
Some things don't mix together, and it's for a reason.
It'd be pretty funny.
It would be funny.
That would be great. Mom,
Well, it's like the old Flintstones.
Balls and give me some mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Well, we talked a little bit about.
Hey, you know what? Okay,
What?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You know how like marijuana is legalized now,
Yeah.
where we are.
Where you guys are.
Where we are. So the
Yeah.
mac and cheese thing would be perfect with the marijuana thing. You know, have it. Now you're hungry. Get some mac and cheese. You know, buy them both at the same time. You get a
You'd
discount.
just be green. You'd be eating with your buddy, like, "How's the mac and cheese, man?" What? Well, I don't know if you guys heard this, but Ben and Jerry's said that as soon as marijuana becomes federally legal,
Yeah.
they want to start selling marijuana ice cream
Oh my god.
with THC in it.
Oh my god.
That
They're
makes sense
already
for Ben and Jerry's,
interested
though.
in making it and selling it in legal dispensaries
Oh my god.
already. And you got to figure, like, Ben and Jerry, they're yeah, exactly. Like it's now it's pop that makes you fat. And, and if you got the munchies, you're just right there.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, Ben and Jerry, they're some old hippies. They're from the '60s and whatnot. They're all
Yeah.
about peace and love and whatnot. I mean, I know one of the top requested flavors for their ice cream involves bacon. They won't put it in. They're just like, no, it's not kosher. I think because either one of them, both of them, is also Jewish, so they won't put in bacon into any of their flavors either. But
Darn it.
yeah, man, they're totally for pot legalization right now. They're trying to stop global warming, so they're all about that stuff. So
Wow.
I mean, all I'll say is my teenage years are behind me, but I'm all for the sale of this ice cream if it ever becomes available, because yeah, it makes people happy. Why not?
And it's two birds, one stone.
Exactly. Should we say two stoned, one bird?
Dude, that's the name of it. Oh my gosh. You should submit that to them.
Submit it to Ben and Jerry and then
They
claim
should-
copyright.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Then claim copyright. It's like, okay, now I get $1 for every time someone says it.
It doesn't even have a description of what's in the ice cream. It just says on the pint, "This stuff's like really good, man."
Okay. That was off topic and hilarious. That was funny. Well, we were talking about TV shows. Young Justice. I'm just gonna throw that out there right now.
Justice. Do I know this one? Is that the cartoon?
It's a DC cartoon, yeah. And I
I
want.
don't have TV, so I don't even know what the new stuff is.
Well, it's the first season is on Netflix, so I'm going to ask this to Netflix. Why don't you have the license for season 2?
Here's a better question: why was it killed?
That too. Both questions are valid. Yeah, it was canceled after 2 seasons.
Just to diverge from that for a second, because
Yeah.
I watched a little bit of Young Justice, and I did like it. And then I just recently saw this. They had a Teen Titans Go
Yeah.
little skit where the character Control Freak came on the screen and said, "Yeah, this show is garbage." And the character's like, "What do you mean?" It's like, look, it showed him clearly, like, look upon your past selves, and he was showing clips from the original show. and basically, like, you know, if you can find this on YouTube, he points out, like, yeah, no one likes this. And if the show doesn't get better soon, we're gonna reboot it again. We've done it before. And like, I guess that shows that they're listening. Like, you know, because he's just like, yeah, no one likes the way how you guys are always screaming. No one likes the humor. Everyone hates the animation quality.
Yeah.
This isn't about drama or character development anymore. It's you guys screaming at each other and telling poop jokes.
Yeah.
Like, no one likes this. So
Disney, take the hint. It's the same thing for your slate of animated features.
Yeah. So,
particularly Spider-Man. Which I have nothing but uncontrollable rage for Ultimate Spider-Man. I would love to personally go find the guys who produced it and slap all of them upside the head. I really would. I don't really give a crap what you guys have done in the past. I'm insulted.
But I've been on for like 2 hours, and over here it is midnight, and I have to be at work at 6 in the morning.
Oh crap!
So you guys can keep going, but I'm gonna go. I gotta sleep.
Okay.
No, I hear you. I
all
actually
right.
probably. Well,
Yeah.
I get up at 2:30, so.
Yeah, well, we have like roughly like 2 hours of footage. I think we'll be good.
Yeah, true.
I think we'll just cut the episode here. So thanks everybody for watching. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share it. Give us the love and the views because I'm dying.
You love us, we love you back long time.
Yeah, exactly.
Word.
That's a fair way of saying it, basically. But anyway, yeah. Hopefully we'll have an opportunity to do this again, and we'll see you guys later.
Alrighty. Later.